Hey guys, how's it going? Philip, a Trade Genius. And yeah, I think Bitcoin is headed to 10,000 by January, and I want to show you guys why. So let's take a look at a chart. So this is a price fork. You make these by creating a starting point and then going to a high and then a low, and then it gives you a trajectory of price. And as you can see, this price trajectory has actually steepened from here. So it's actually had to increase. And if you notice, that increase in trajectory is correlating with the rise in volume. The shaded area is the average volume. All right, so it's going up. And really, this kind of coincided back in April when we started to see this big tear in cryptos, especially like things like Ethereum went up quite a bit, had a big run up to like almost $400. So these lines here, these vertical lines, this represents the month of January. And as you can see, this thing goes up here. We start getting into this 10,000 region. All right. And right now, this thing's been liking the upper half of this channel more than the lower half. And so this volume here is only going to get more, or only going to increase, I should say. The reason being, and a large part of it, is because the inflows, the institutional inflows from Wall Street are coming. And we've been talking about this. We have the futures, the CME futures, and again, even though that's cash settled, meaning that it doesn't affect the underlying Bitcoin asset, but it does allow the funds to now hedge when they start getting into Bitcoin. So if they have Bitcoin positions, it gets a little more complicated because of the hedging mechanisms, but they'll be able to, like, say, short or sell the futures to offset their risk. So that opens up huge amount of investors that previously probably wouldn't touch Bitcoin. But now with those CME futures, that green lighted basically the Bitcoin asset class for a lot of these funds. And there are a lot of funds. There's over 100 funds that are coming into this crypto space. So there's a huge amount of inflows that have yet to come in. So you'll gradually see this volume increase. And as that volume increases, we may even have to increase this price trajectory even more. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you guys was price action. And if you look on this chart here that I have, what I have here is these are the bottoms that come in. What I like to do is I like to look at the price as it comes down and as it goes up. Now, sometimes that happens in two bars. You get a capitulation move down thrust, and then the buyers come in. They hit a level that they're looking at, and sometimes that's a technical level, like a support level here, and boom, it goes up. Usually that's a good indication, price action wise, of a bottom. It takes a little while to consolidate, and it starts its move, resumes its move back up. But if you notice here, the volume in this bottom was about 50, almost 60,000 Bitcoin. This one was 90,000 Bitcoin, and this most recent one was 88,000 Bitcoin. So and this was the existing price channel, and I told folks it's probably going to pop out of that for various reasons. One was the increase in volume, and two is we were ahead of these forks that were coming, and people wanted to be consolidated into Bitcoin, so that when the hard fork happened, they would have that allocation of new tokens on the new chain that was forked off. So there was a consolidation effect, people getting out of altcoins and consolidating into Bitcoin. Now that that's done, there was a drop off. This was exacerbated from the Bcash pump and dump, the miners dumping Bitcoin to try and pump up Bcash. That failed miserably, and so we're back to business. And we'll probably see a positive effect for alts now that this fork nonsense is past us. So, and we'll get into that in future videos. So, but yeah, I wanted to show you guys that, this looks like if we're gonna make this move to 10,000, a bounce here at this level makes sense, and then we don't really look back from here, and we keep going higher. But with the amount of money that's coming in with Wall Street, and the other thing, too, you have to think is that it's a non-correlated asset. And what that means is Wall Street likes to find non-correlated assets so that they can help their risk exposure. Some of these guys have rules as far as how much risk they can take on, or the type of risk that they take. And finding a non-correlated asset means that they're going to find an asset that doesn't really move necessarily with other assets. So say they're invested in the S&P 500 stocks. If S&P 500 moves up or down, it doesn't really necessarily correlate with Bitcoin's movement. And that's huge for funds, Finding a non-correlated asset is kind of rare these days. So that's a huge feature for Bitcoin as an asset class. So expect inflows from Wall Street to come, and expect these valuations to most likely get hit. And again, volume and price trajectory, I'm looking at 10,000 Bitcoin by January. So you got any questions or comments, leave them below. Hit that subscribe button if you like our videos. Also, if you have questions about getting into this space or aren't sure, you can always sign up for the room. And you know, it's open, it's never closed. You'll have a lot of people in there. We've got well over 100 people in the room, and you can ask away, ask questions, get guidance. We're talking about cryptos all the time. If you want to swing trade this stuff, we're also throwing in a package where you can get the indicator thrown in with that room if you do the annual package. And you want to use, go to our website, the link's below, and use the coupon code CryptoMagic, and you'll get our swing trading indicator. So there you go, guys. That's it for this video. 10,000 BTC by January. And then we'll take a look at some of the alt actions in upcoming videos. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.